It's low.
On your back. Let's go. Get Buster. We're going slow. We haven't got communications with Dragster Staging yet. Darwin?
Yeah.
2 minutes till. Got everybody alerted. We're going to fire.
All right.
208 contestants qualified for the Super Nationals. Now the cash and prestige attached to winning Ontario Motor Speedway's inaugural drag race are on the line. The 104 race first round of competition drags on over 2 hazy hours. The drivers stand idle, wiping the smog from their cars, thinking, waiting.
For me, the first round is usually the one that gets rid of all the nervousness that comes about. And I think it comes about because of the long wait. Before the first round, you'll sit around for 4 hours. A lot of things build up in your mind. You try and keep active and not let them bother you. But after the first round, that's gone.
Moving out of the staging lane, Pro Stock machine. These are the best, the quickest that Detroit can build. Now, moving out onto the pad, ladies and gentlemen, the Pro Stockers of Dick Landy, Sherman Oaks, California, up against Jim Baker, Anaheim, California. Baker driving a Chevrolet, Landy a Dodge. Landy now moving away, he wins it. Landy going away. The funny cars of Gene Snow and John Decker. Gene Snow into an immediate lead. Snow charges to the mid-range and takes the lead, going away.
All right, coming up next will be Pro Stock. The Ford, the Chevrolet, the Plymouth, and the Dodge.
Dick Landy again faces elimination. The nervousness of round 1 is gone, but the intense desire and winning habits of a professional remain.
The thing that I'm concentrating on the most is, did I do my job correct? Are the tires hot enough? I'll concentrate very deeply on that. Double check the shoulder belts. Make sure the glove's on tight. I'll take my foot off the clutch and rub it on the carpet to make sure there's no water or anything on it so it doesn't slip off the clutch pedal. Make sure I have my cigar, and I'll pull it up and stage it.
Even Landy's lucky trademark, the giant unlit cigar clenched between his teeth, can't help him. His clutch shatters under the strain of a shift. For Dick Landy, the Super Nationals is another piece of history.
It's done, it's finished. You want to know what happened and why. And if it's a question of reaction time, well, then I guess I'd like to take my head and bang it against the wall if I was laid out of the hole. I just kind of like to be by myself for a while because there's always a bunch of people that'll come up and throw in there. At this point, it's nothing but 2 bits worth. And you don't want to hear it because it's all over.
Drag racing is our subject on this edition of the Glory Days. We're reviewing the 1971 Super Nationals at Ontario Motor Speedway. Now, perhaps in an effort to capture the interest of the casual television viewer, or maybe to tickle the funny bone of the serious enthusiast, the age of drag racing included the following retrospective, summing up the history of the sport.
This
is the earliest form of drag racing known to man. Organized in Rome in 261 A.D. by the Imperial Hot Chariot Association. Ancient scrolls and tablets say this event was called the first annual Summer National. Only 1,600 years later, mass production brought the price of the horse and wagon so low that everybody got into racing. Drag racing marched onward. Men constantly tried to go even faster, developing exotic innovations in equipment. And new safety devices, too. Searching for the ultimate test of man and machine, the pioneers of the sport created ever more demanding forms of competition. Finally, drag racing as we know it today was born.
Well, if you've seen the rocket-powered ice skater or that floppity-flop helicopter so many times that they don't strike you as funny anymore, remember this film was made 20 years ago. Back then it must have been hilarious. Or perhaps this was just a necessary effort to flesh out the television program after its star, Dick Landy, lost a clutch and was eliminated in the second round of the Super Nationals.
Emotion is never in short supply at a drag race. Dejection and jubilation seem to flow endlessly from the same tap. Any motorsport, danger begins when you climb into the car. Sitting astride a volatile combination of exotic fuels, 1,500 horsepower, and 8,000 RPMs producing terminal speeds in excess of 210 miles per hour is not like watching from the stands. Yet overall, drag racing must be rated one of the safest motorsports for both participants and fans. Round 2 roars into round 3. Round 3 slides into round 4. Among the professionals, individual drivers blast through race after race, marching toward victory. Pro stock driver Ronnie Sachs, who has dominated the class, keeps it going. He takes easy wins round after round and gets a red light victory in the semifinal from Dick Oldfield's Motown Missile. What Ronnie Sachs is to the pro stockers, Gene Snow is becoming to the funny cars. Snow blasts through his opponents and into the final. In the fuel dragster class, Rick Ramsey and the California Charger, one of the longest long shots in the field, swiftly mows down the competition. An upset victory over Danny Ungaius puts Ramsey in the final. Perhaps some of drag racing's enormous appeal is related to its brutal simplicity. After hours of racing, it will come down to two men facing each other in a final showdown, like the gunfighters of 100 years ago. There are no ties, and finishing second really doesn't mean a thing.